Of all the architectural advancements and structural achievements by the Romans, few structures can match the grandeur of the Colosseum. As a hub for culture, commerce, and entertainment, the Colosseum was one of the trademarks of ancient Roman society. From the unique structure and strong foreign influences to the intense battles and interesting culture revolving around this grand structure, the Colosseum is a staple of the legacy of ancient Roman society.
The construction of the Colosseum had its purposes. The Colosseum's main role was to present a permanent purpose arena in Rome that would be used for showing several forms of entertainment to the Romans. The Colosseum was also built to symbolize culture, wealth, might, and power of not just the city of Rome but also the Roman Empire. The construction of this magnificent structure was also a political move. Although it was a place to seek entertainment, the Colosseum was a subject matter that distracted Rome's population from serious issues like oligarchy, nepotism, and corruption in the Senate and the Church. The Colosseum was finally finished by Titus, a son of Emperor Vespasian in 80 AD.
In the Colosseum, the audience received tickets in a very similar way to how we do in modern day, except the admission was free. Each ticket was marked with an entrance, tier, and seat. There were 76 entrance gate arches used for the general public with numbered information on them. 4 separate non-numbered entrances were grand entrances used for the upper class, including the emperor. The cavea, or seating, surrounded their arena and was separated by a massive wall and ditch in order to provide protection to the audience. The seating was also divided into 4 tiers. The 4th tier, which was at the top, was used for women and slaves who sat on wooden seats. The 3rd tier, which was split into 2 sections depending on wealth, was used by the plebeians or ordinary citizens. The wealthier citizens sat in the lower section and had better quality seating than the upper section citizens. The 2nd tier was reserved for the equites and knights, who sat on marble seats. Lastly, the 1st tier, also known as the podium, which was at the very bottom of the Colosseum with the best view of the events. This section was reserved for the highest class of people, such as the senators, priests, and even the emperor himself.
The Colosseum of ancient Rome is one of the many recognizable landmarks that dot the landscape of the ruins of the city. Its grandeur would be incomplete without its clear Greek influences primarily displayed through the 3 levels of Greek orders, or columns. The orders increase in style and flair as you move up the structure. At the bottom are the Doric columns, the simplest yet tallest of the 3 variations present. Next are the Ionic columns, followed by the extravagant Corinthian columns. This elevation in style with the orders alludes to the power and wealth of the Roman Empire. The structure of the Colosseum included a velarium, an awning to provide shade to the multitude of spectators the Colosseum could hold. The structure was made of concrete, a new invention of the time, which allowed the structure to be strong while also allowing for its artistic elements to be present. The Colosseum was constructed in an elliptical fashion, allowing for a good view for any spectator no matter where the individual sat. The extensive system of tunnels underneath the Colosseum allowed for passage of animals, scenery, and gladiators, contributing to the excitement of the many events presented in the Colosseum. The emperor wanted to keep the masses happy and distracted from their own poverty. To do so, he had to have a variety of events to entertain them. These events included gladiatorial fights, executions, chariot races, animal maulings, or even reenactments of battles won in the wars. Naval battles were included as well, but were rare because they sometimes damaged the Colosseum. Sometimes criminals were used for comedy. They were blindfolded and sent to fight other blindfolded criminals.
Gladiator battles were the main event of the Colosseum. Though battles could be bloody and full of tragedy, the morality of essentially forcing 2 slaves to fight to the death was never in question in Roman society. The epitaphs and graves of those slain in the Colosseum display gladiators' pride in their profession and their loyalty to the empire. The first gladiators were slaves who were forced to fight during the funerary procession for an aristocrat in 264 BC. Though they were slaves, gladiators were well fed and were constantly undergoing training to provide the best show possible for the spectator. Of all gladiators in history, none is as infamous as Spartacus. Spartacus was a popular gladiator who led a successful revolt against the master of the Colosseum along with 200 of his fellow slaves. Spartacus's courage encouraged gladiators across the Republic to join his cause, and the size of Spartacus' army continuously grew during the revolt's longevity of over 2 years. However, Spartacus and his army was decimated by the Roman general Crassus in Sicily, ending the influential slave revolt led by Spartacus. The Colosseum played a major role in the daily lives of the citizens of Rome and the Roman Empire. The unique architecture and cultural influences that the spectacle of the Colosseum introduced surpassed even the longevity of the Grand Roman Empire, as the Colosseum remains an ancient cultural landmark to this day. The various forms of entertainment and spectacles that took place in the Grand Stadium were a staple of Roman society, and the popularity of its gladiators drew spectators from all over the empire. In every aspect, the Colosseum was a major influence on the daily lives of the citizens of ancient Rome.